Saturday, 4th of July, 2026 at 12:42 p.m. here in Amsterdam, North Holland, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Welcome once again to our cosmic journey. It is your Dev and Design podcast featuring two boys wearing their best pale blues today. Hello, pale blue Trey.
Hello, pale blue Jake. Is it?
Gross. Don't ever do that again.
That was hard to get to line up.
That was hard to get to line up. How are you doing, Mr. Henry?
I'm doing well, except for that I'm just realizing how much more colorblind I actually am than I think I am. It's
really?
Clearly in the blue-green category, because to me, these look like at least turquoise or like more green.
They're the blue. They're like this, except this would be more blue. You know, like this is where we're at right now with all of this.
Almost green to me.
Almost green to you. It's okay. You know, this is why you're not the designer. That's why I'm the designer. Could you imagine if that said designer Trey, what kind of software we would have?
Something that looked like Urania.
Yeah, something that looked like Urania, which
some people really enjoy.
Hey,
back off.
Let's just say this. It was a thing. That's great. Today's episode is called Plumbing v. Poetry. This title is based upon the essay that is in the book On Leadership by James March, called Plumbing and Poetry, which is a great book. But really what we're talking about here is less poetry, more plumbing, because we have a lot of plumbing-focused things that we are doing here today, including talking a little bit about a loading screen, because it was a little bit funny when we were getting to loading app data in there. We have actually one of the nicest ways I've ever seen to log out not that I'm just giving myself flowers for designing it, but it's pretty good. And we have some small perspective changes. But before we get to all of that, Mr. Henry, of course, we always start with the check-in question. I haven't heard it yet. Have you written it yet?
I have, and I even have it memorized, surprisingly.
Wow. Well, let's get to it. You know, here's another thing. When we go to Engineer Trey, look at, you also match the curtains with Engineer Trey. So it's almost like we've called it coordinated.
Hi, this thing.
That thing over there.
That thing.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Back to the check-in question. Mr. Henry.
What Mario character do you most identify with?
Initially, I said Yoshi. And the reason why I identify with Yoshi is that there seems to be a kind of fun-loving spirit about the whole thing, and a lovely kind of, the world is a tabula rasa, and I'm just here and like, wow, look at all this stuff, wow. But I think that's who I want to be. I think actually who I identify more with is Luigi, the scared, perpetually frightened individual that won't even allow ducks to take things out of his hand. A real problem, by the way. I wanted to feed a duck. I put peanuts in my hand, and because the duck was like snapping at the peanuts, I freaked out and I threw my peanuts at it. So I think I'm Luigi.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I didn't really. I wasn't really thinking like, do you most identify with from a like who you want to be perspective or who you think you are perspective? So I like that you gave two answers.
Yeah, I am Luigi. I would love to be Yoshi. On my best days, I'm my Yoshi. On my worst days, I'm my Luigi. Will you love me with my Luigi self? You know, whatever that meme is, all of that good stuff. Mr. Henry, what about you? What is your Mario character?
I have to go with Boo.
Oh.
Because Boo is terrified of actually looking directly at people or having people look directly at him or them. And so, you know, whenever you're looking directly at Boo, then they're just like, oh my God, don't look at me.
Yeah.
But then
that's totally true.
But then as soon as you turn away, they're up to all kinds of sneaky things.
Yeah, sneaky little things.
Yep.
And we won't go into the great detail about like hurting people. I don't think that's part of the question or anything like that. But you know what? Who am I? Who am I to judge what your
Yeah, some people deserve to be hurt.
Okay, good check-in, everyone. Great way to end that check-in. All right, Mr. Henry, let's talk about the loading screen upon first login. And I'll just mention that like we spent some time this week making not only things like the loading screen and stuff like that, but like transitions between like logged in, syncing, logged out, actually feel really solid, because I will say that the app was feeling to me, especially on mobile, a little flaky. And it wasn't flaky, it just felt flaky. And that's a nice place to be, right? So we can design some things to make sure that like the feeling is the thing that it actually is.
No, I think that's exactly right, because it's a lot easier. It's still hard, but it's a lot easier to design software around states, like fixed states, like, okay, now I'm on the chart list page. Now I'm on the chart page. It's a lot harder to design around transitions between different states.
Yeah, and all of this stuff is always dynamic. We only, as human beings and as designers, really think statically. There's a very small group of designers, I am not included, that really thinks dynamically through experiences. I think statically first, and then I have to patch in the dynamic part of it. Anyways, enough balloon juice, Mr. Henry. Do you want to show about this logging screen and what happens on first login now?
Yeah, so we are here on a fresh account. I'm going to go to the settings screen with the hotkey G and then S, and I'm going to log out.
We'll talk more about logout later in the future segment.
Here on the login screen, I'm going to put in my credentials.
And you did some work also to clean up login because there was some stuff that was being left behind that was a little bit funny, but we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, it was kind of bugs that were behind the scene. But anyway, so this would be essentially the equivalent of logging in for the first time. And you can see we now hit a loading screen.
Yay!
And then once we hit that first pass of sync to synchronize your data, then we land you on the loading screen, so now when you land on the chart list page, now when you land on the chart list page, you will already have a lot of data synced. In fact, for most people, I would say it's probably all of your data.
Yeah.
You won't notice a staggering until you get to over 1,000 sort of mutations saved.
And we haven't tested that case yet, but we have a ticket to test that case to see what's going to happen, because we know that somebody out there, when we release the software and we have syncing going, is going to be the powery of powerest users.
Yes.
And we're going to make sure, go ahead.
We have tested it at smaller scale. So we know that it works, but we don't know what it feels like when you really get to large numbers of charts.
I have about, there's a instance that I have that has about like 35 charts in it, and it goes really quickly, but like what happens when it's 1,035? We don't know yet. We'll just figure that one out. Well, cool.
So
very good on that one.
That's the loading screen in brief. Of course, you didn't get a chance to see it very much, but so I want to just talk a little bit about the loading screen here, because it's quite simple. But in our drive to always make things accessible, or try to make things a little bit more accessible, this is also motion aware. So if I go to...
You might notice also that the icon is wobbly. That's my fault. I have a ticket to fix that later. It's like one pixel, one pixel off.
it is
so
one pixel off. So
I did some kind of wobbly thing there. That was not good.
But if I turn on reduce motion, then you can see that it becomes...
It stops.
Yeah, it becomes stationary. That's what it looks like in stellar dark, stellar light. And then if I put prefers motion on, then it just does this
she turns again.
Subtle rotation.
Very good.
So that's fun.
That's fun. You also had made mention that like logging out was something that we also did a little bit of work on. We talked about like cleaning up our stuff, but we have this problem, and I'll go to 2 up for this one. We have this problem where if you are on either no connection or a slow connection, it is possible for you to make changes, those changes not to be synced, for you to hit log out. And because we wipe everything from your machine, best security practices, we may accidentally wipe changes away that were not synced yet. But this is where design comes in and actually makes in my humble opinion, a pretty good design for all of this stuff.
Yeah, so we're here on the chart list page, and using the developer tools in the browser, I'm going to set myself to offline. We could also show this with throttling it to something like a 3G network or something like that.
But it'll be similar to what's going to happen here.
Yeah, exactly. So if I just open this chart and then go back, you'll see that we have a change synced. We've already shown this with the rings getting more and more red as the more and more you have.
The orb gets angrier the less you sync.
Yeah, application doesn't stop working, but it starts getting a little harrowing once you get up to a certain number of mutations. If we come over here, you can see now that the logout button is actually red, and just below it, it says 1 pending change. And if you try to log out now, you'll get a message here basically saying you have some unsynced changes, and if you log out now, you will lose those changes. So that's just a really nice way for us to basically say, like, you can still do it, but hey,
Just want to let you know.
You just want to let you know.
Inform you what was
And
going to
then-
happen here.
Yeah, exactly. And so if we go back
Now
online,
watch the log out button. It's going to take a little bit of time because there's throttling that happens here.
Oh,
Mr. Henry's circling things at random.
wait, is it? Oh, that wasn't useful.
Hey,
there we go.
There we go.
So that is, what we've done for the logout scenario there.
And look, like, let's be clear. No one signs up for astrology software because they're excited about email verification or they're excited about how logging in and logging out functions, but everyone expects it to work. And this is that difference between plumbing, working through like the system of pipes and making sure that everything is flowing nicely versus poetry. Poetry demos better. Plumbing is important though.
Yes.
And Mr. Henry, let's talk a little bit about the perspective changes that we made here. This is from a member who had misunderstood something that we had done. And it wasn't that the functionality wasn't there, but it wasn't clear. And that's a usability problem. That's still a bug. And we fixed that bug. Now, if you remember, if you click or tap on the perspective card over there, it will change the perspective. But if you're new to the software, you might, or you're working on mobile, because you'll notice there's a hover state here. That hover state doesn't happen on mobile, so it doesn't look clickable. And you might hit that triple dot instead to say like, well, I want to change it. Well, now that does the same thing. So now we hit change there, and then you can change it. And this makes it much more clear for everybody, especially people on mobile, what is going on when doing perspective shifts and changes and how this whole thing works. So big thanks to the member who gave us that bug. You know who you are. Actually, I'll write you an email to thank you personally for that. That's what I do. That's the plumbing we have this week. So Mr. Henry, the final question is always, what should the good viewer do with the rest of their beautiful Saturday?
Find a local market and buy a local thing.
Find a local market, buy a local thing. If you are in a certain country, I'll tell you that local thing is not going to be a firework. It's not local.
That's not local. That's made somewhere else.
That's made somewhere else. Be well. Take care. Go buy a local thing. A local thing. And we will see you again next week. We love seeing your faces every single week. We'll see you again next week. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.